We are officially 2 weeks away from Nebraska's Pinstripe Bowl game versus Boston College. So in today's video, I'm going to go over 5 big things that I'm looking out for and some nuggets from practice leading up to this game. So really quick, we have a lot to get into. Make sure to hit that like button. If you're fired up about the Pinstripe Bowl, I know I am. And hey, really quick, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan and you're unsubscribed, what are you doing? Make sure to subscribe. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you enjoy daily Husker football content? Yes. Do you want updates about breaking news, recruiting? Yes. I got you covered with all of that. I post daily Husker football content, road to 9,000 subscribers. So listen, if you're a diehard Husker fan, make sure to subscribe. You will be thanking yourself that you did. But without further ado, let's get into it, going over the 5 big things that I'm looking out for in this bowl game versus Boston College. Number 1, we've seen the headlines over the past couple weeks. Tony White leaves for Florida State, takes Terrence Knighton with him. Multiple defensive players in the transfer portal, whether that's Jamari Butler, James Williams, Mekhi Bayer, Prince William Mielon. My big question for this team, how can they respond without these guys? Can they step up? Can John Butler, our new defensive coordinator, put together a great game plan and flourish in his first opportunity as the Huskers DC? Can we see multiple freshmen, sophomores step up in the absence of guys like Prince William Mielon, Jamari Butler, get real playing time and play well? You know, this defense has been really good for the Huskers this year. And yeah, it's been inconsistent, but at the end of the day, it still was a top 20 unit statistically in college football. We cannot have it drop off a cliff because we lost a couple guys in the coordinator. Okay. So I'm looking out for how can this defense perform? Can they play with confidence? Can they play with pride? We're going to get our answer versus Boston College, whether or not Tony White was really that big of a loss, whether or not Jamari Butler was really that big of a loss. If our defense can go out there and only give up 10 points to the Eagles, yeah, we're going to be fine. Now, if they struggle and Boston College runs it down our throat, gets a couple of touchdowns, yeah, then maybe we have to have that conversation. But really, the first thing I'm looking out for, how can this defense step up without Tony White? Can they play with passion? Can they play with confidence? But more importantly, can they play with success? And can they stop the running game and the passing game? So that's the first thing I'm looking out for, this defense without some crucial players and coaches. Number 2, I kind of hinted at it. A bowl game is important for multiple reasons. But in my opinion, the most important thing is that it gives young players their first opportunity to play in a meaningful football game. And for the first time, we're going to see Nebraska freshmen, sophomores get real chances, whether that's as starters, second stringers, whatever. So for that reason, we're going to see guys like Quinn Clark, 6'4" wide receiver, get in the ball game and make plays. Larry Tarver, true freshman corner, who I believe has a phenomenal upside. Amari Sanders might get some real playing time as well as a corner. 4-star offensive lineman Grant Bricks, Quentin Ives at that running back spot. Again, the list goes on and on. That is going to be so critical. Who breaks out in this game? There's going to be multiple. Who breaks out? Let me know in the comment section who you think breaks out. That's really what's so important about these bowl games, though, is that these guys get opportunities. They're not playing UTEP. They're not playing Northern Iowa. They're playing a real good Power 4 team in a must-win game. How can they step up and play really, really well? So it's big for that development of these young guys. I'm excited to see who breaks out. I'm going to give you one name. Willis McGahee, I think, has a statement performance versus Boston College at that jack spot. I think he gets the quarterback multiple times. Really big fan of Willis McGahee. He thinks he's going to have a big year next year as well. But I'm looking forward to seeing multiple guys break out, get more playing time than they actually do. It's going to be huge for our young players going forward. Again, like Matt Rhule said, this is basically the first game of the offseason. We're going to treat it like the offseason because this is all about development going forward. Number 3. You know, we're all talking about the offseason right now, the transfer portal, this, that, and the third. But we forget how anemic Nebraska's offense was this year. We had one of the worst offenses in Power 5. 10 points versus Iowa, 13 offensive points versus USC, 7 versus Indiana, 14 versus Rutgers. We fired Marcus Satterfield, or I guess demoted him mid-year. The list goes on and on. We had a really, really bad offense. And yeah, we had 44 points versus Wisconsin, but if it weren't for that, we'd likely have the worst offense in Power 4 football, period. So my question is, Dana Holgorsen, who's now officially our long-term offensive coordinator, how can he continue to make a jump in this unit? Can this offense take another step forward? And I'm looking at Raiola as well. Dylan Raiola had a lot of ups and downs this year. He had a lot of downs as well, right? A lot of downs. Can he play very well versus Boston College? Because that's going to be huge for his confidence going into the offseason. I want this guy to throw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. I want him to have a completion percentage of 75%. I want him to be absolutely dicing up Boston College. Okay, that's going to be huge for the development of this offense. But, Dana Holgorsen, this is his first real test. I mean, you had a month to prepare for this game. You had a month to watch film. Let's see if you can put together a good game plan, put some points on the board. 28 points is the minimum. I want to see 28 points to feel good about this offense going into next year. I do not want another slow-paced ball game, run the football down their throat. Like, we're not going to do that this game. We're going to put up points. We're going to let these young men develop, and we're going to see what's going to go going into next year. So we need 28 points. That's my threshold. I also want to see Emmett Johnson continue to develop, Dante Dowd continue to develop, Ja'Cory Barney get touches, but this offense needs to really take a step forward in this ball game. Number 4, I always say that Nebraska needs to play like they have nothing to lose, and I stand by that. But in reality, we actually do have something to lose in this ball game. Okay, we're in our first bowl game in 8 years, and this game is in between us and our first winning season in 8 years. We need a winning season. We need to go over 500 on the year. We have a golden opportunity. We have a golden opportunity. How bad do these boys want it? How bad do these players want to have a winning record? Because although it's kind of like a vacation, you're going to New York City, you're celebrating a good year, the fans are getting a trip, but you got to treat this like it's a real game. You got to treat this like it's a November game versus a rival night game atmosphere. You got to treat it like it's a must win, because this could change the whole trajectory of the offseason. You know how much different it is when you're selling recruits in the program if you have to say, yeah, we went 6-7 and had a losing year. Or you could say, yeah, we had a winning season for the first time in 8 years. Look at that upward trajectory. Okay, it changes everything. You got to win this football game. I can't stress it enough. It's so important. And so many teams treat bowl games like they're not important and, it is what it is. It's just a developmental game. We cannot treat it like that. We got to go out there, not only win. I want these guys to dominate, man. That's going to be huge, and that's going to change the perception of everything. Imagine if we lose this game versus if we go out there, dominate, blow them out. Imagine the hype going into next year, the transfers we might get, the recruits we might get. It could change everything. Got to go out there and play with something. You got to go out there and play like you have nothing to lose, but in reality, you do got something to lose. You got to go ahead and win. Last thing that I'm looking out for. We got to go celebrate these seniors, man. It's the last time we will ever watch a lot of these seniors suit up in Nebraska uniforms. Now, are any of these guys Husker legends? Well, probably not. Are any of these guys first-round NFL draft picks? Well, no. But you know what these seniors are? They're trailblazers. They changed the trajectory of the program. They changed the narrative. They made a bowl game for the first time in 8 years. And while all these guys weren't Nebraska Hall of Famers, they're always going to have a special place in my heart. So, shout out to Ty Robinson, man, who had a really good year. Let's get Ty Robinson a goal line carry as the fullback. Why not? Let's have some fun. Nash, the polar bear, last ever game, really good nose tackle for the Huskers. He's going to have an NFL career. John Bullock. You know what's sad? John Bullock will go down as the last Nebraska walk-on starter ever. Literally. The walk-on program's dead after this year with the new roster cap. John Bullock will forever be the last Nebraska walk-on starter. Shout out to John Bullock. Shout out to Bryce Benhart. He had his ups and downs, but he had a good season. Even Isaac Gifford, man. Shout out to Isaac Gifford. He loves this program, and he played well throughout his career. I'll give him that. So, shout out to these seniors, man. Last time they'll ever put on the Nebraska uniform. Last time they'll ever put on that beautiful white end helmet. Go out there and win this football game for them. I want those guys to go out there and dominate, man. Have some fun. Man, I'm always going to have a special place in my heart for these seniors. I always will. So I really hope they have a really good ball game and play well. But also, I want to see these young guys too, because the young guys are the future. But I do want these seniors to really get their opportunities. And also, shout out to the seniors from last year. Matt Rhule personally is flying out every senior from last year's team to this game to basically say, hey, we want you there. Even though you didn't make a bowl game last year, we want you to be in attendance. So shout out to last year's seniors as well. They're also going to be there for the Huskers. All right, guys, let me know down below your thoughts around the 5 nuggets I'm looking out for in this big bowl game versus Boston College. Let me know in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go be great, go better, and see you in the next one.